Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to talk a little bit about B vitamin intake and why you should be eating organ meats. B vitamins in general are really critical for energy production, red blood cell formation, immune function, and neurological function. I want to address B12, otherwise known as cobalamin, specifically because it's estimated that at least 40% of the population is deficient in it. That's a big deal. Now, as with other B vitamins, B12 is critical for red blood cell formation, DNA production, neurological function, because what it does is it actually forms or helps to form part of the myelin sheath, which is like a neurological protective layer around nerve cells. So interestingly, symptoms of B12 deficiency range, and they range from fatigue, being one of the first, to anemia, weakness, memory loss, problems concentrating, and neuropathy. So you might be wondering, well, how is everybody so deficient in B12 if everybody, or at least a lot of people, overeat? How is that even possible? It's possible because a lot of people have issues with inflammatory bowel diseases, they have issues with malabsorption, insufficient stomach acid production, which we've talked about in the past, and quite simply, the diet's too high in processed foods and carbohydrates. So with all this said, how do you ensure adequate intake, absorption, and levels in the first place? How would you even know? Well, obviously, if you have a number of those associated deficiency symptoms, get your levels tested, but I'd get your levels tested anyway. So note two things about testing is A, lab reference ranges are really on the low side. So you could be B12 deficient and not have it picked up properly on your labs because it's on the low end of being too low, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. The other thing is B12 is not it's not the most sensitive marker for deficiency. There's something called MMA, methylmalonic acid, that you can get tested as well, which is a much more sensitive marker for B12 deficiency. Just kind of FYI, you can take that to your doctor and they'll know what to do from there. So in addition to making sure your levels are adequate, make sure that your digestive health is on point. If you have inflammatory bowel disorders, do your best to get those under control and properly treated and preferably in remission. Make sure that your food sources for B12 are on point. And you might be surprised to learn that muscle meats, so all of your lean cuts of like chicken and steak, really good protein sources. They are not awesome sources of B12. And I know that some of you might be like, wait, what are you talking about? As compared to the top sources in the world, which are organ meats and shellfish. They are a far greater source of B12 and folate than the muscle meats. So an ideal way to go about this is go to see Mateo at Lakeview Produce. Mateo comes here and he owns the farmer's market around the corner because he puts together these really cool blends of ground beef and bison that have the liver blended into the patties. So it's no different really than just cooking bison or ground beef, but you have organ meats blended in. Hit him up at Lakeview for that. And it's a good start to just way to introduce organ meats into your diet without going like, how do I cook liver? Because it smells up the house and it's kind of like, it's very gamey, as most of you know, and it's absolutely an acquired taste. Now, in addition to organ meats, shellfish like clams and oysters, crab, and then of course, moving further down the line, salmon and sardines are good sources of B12 as well. All right, so just a few key points to sum. B12 is absolutely crucial for health. Roughly 40% of the population is deficient in it. I'd estimate it's a lot more than that. And deficiency symptoms range from fatigue being number one to anemia, issues concentrating, memory loss, numbness and tingling in the hands and feet. So if you're constantly dealing with one or more of these symptoms, I'd get your levels checked. And remember, methylmalonic acid is a marker as well as B12. So remember, insufficiencies are caused mainly by a total lack of intake in the diet and then just malabsorption issues secondary to something going on in the gut. And then if you're just starting out and really wanting to optimize your diet for B12 and B vitamin intake in general, make sure that you're starting to integrate organ meats into your day, and those can be blended with meats as in Mateo's blend. And as I've said for many, many years now, I think the ideal approach to a nutrient-dense diet is organ meats with awesome, good quality proteins, with a lot of plant-based foods and plant-based proteins on top. Hope that advice helps. See you down the line. Thank you.